So I want to look at a specific part of the quadratic formula. Specific part I want to look at is this one here, where you got the b squared minus 4ac part. That actually has a specific name. It's called the discriminant. Okay, so the expression, let's just fill out the blanks here. The expression b squared minus 4ac is called the discriminant. And the reason why it's called a discriminant is it helps us to figure out the nature. Discriminant. It helps us to figure out the nature of the roots. That's what this definition tells us right here. It says, what is the nature of the roots? Now, we don't have to solve the problem. That's not asking us to solve the problem. It just says basically, how many roots do you have? Okay, that's what it's after. So think about this for a second. You have three possibilities. You have a possibility here of roots being 1 and 2. You have another possibility of being 2 equal roots, right? And then you have a possibility where this doesn't touch at all. But think about this. If that doesn't touch at all, that means you can't solve this. Well, wait a second. Look back at this portion here and think about it. What would that be in order for you not to be able to solve this equation? Well, it's actually quite simple. That has to be negative. Think about it. If that's negative, you can't square root a negative. So guess what? You get a result like this. Think about it again. What if this gives you just 1 root? That means you don't need this plus or minus here, because plus or minus gives you 2 roots. So how do you get so that this doesn't become a factor? Well, simple. That's really simple. Make this equal to 0. Plus or minus 0, sorry folks, you only have 1 root. And then finally, how do you get 2 roots out of this? Well, simple. This has to be anything. This could be like 4. The square root of 4 means this works out to be 2. You have to add 2, you have to subtract 2. You're going to get 2 roots out of the deal. You see how this works? So it helps us to determine the nature of the roots. So if b squared minus 4ac, okay, has 2 distinct roots, b squared minus 4ac has to be positive. Okay, it has to be positive. Then you'll get 2 distinct roots. You'll get 1 here, 1 here, because of that plus or minus factor. So if b squared minus 4ac now is negative, oops, I'll do it for this one. Oops, negative. If it is negative, there are no real roots, which means that the graph does not touch the x-axis. If this b squared minus 4ac is 0, then you only have 1 distinct root, or what we call 2 equal roots, and this will in fact just touch at 1 point. So you can have nothing, meaning b squared minus 4ac is negative. You can have 1, which means b squared minus 4ac equals to 0. Or you can have 2, which b squared minus 4ac equals to some sort of positive number. We'll look at a few examples, and I'm going to show you how this works in a minute. Check out the next podcast.